Welcome to Legends of Bodybuilding. My name is Ben Wallen and I'm one of your hosts. The other one is over there. One of the biggest guys in the 90s, the monster, a legend himself, the man with the widest teeth from here to South Africa, Jean-Pierre Fuchs.
Nice to be back.
Good. And somehow, I don't know what happened to Charles, but his camera is out. I hope he can still hear us. Charles? Oops. There he is.
I'm back.
We got him back.
Okay. So today we have a very, very special guest, and we're really honored to have that guest in our podcast. And let me introduce this gentleman the right way so everybody knows who it really is. His first show was a long time ago. Why I'm saying a long time ago, he didn't say the year because I don't know if he can even remember. I guess it was sometimes in the 70s at some Ironman at YMCA in Berkeley, where he came in second place, but not in bodybuilding, in powerlifting. Wow. Then he went on to the Junior USA, where he placed second behind Tony Pearson. Wow. Then went on to Mr. California, where he also placed second. Then won the Mr. Compton, competed against John Brown, best poser in the world. 1983, he went to Mr. USA in the light heavyweight class, and he placed fifth. Then in the same year, he went to the Nationals and won the Nationals, qualified for the World Championship, won the World Championship, and turned pro. Wow. Then in the middleweight division, oh, I have to say that. Then the next year, he went on straight to the Mr. Olympia, where he posted this incredible backflip. I think once or twice he did on stage, and it was absolutely amazing. He trained multiple Mr. Olympias like Shawn Rhoden, Dexter Jackson, Brandon Curry, legends like Flex Wheeler, Chris Cormier, Paul Dillette, Dennis James, Günther Schlierkamp, Kai Green, and others. Movie stars like Wesley Snipes and The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, athletes like Hulk Hogan, Magic Johnson, and the list goes on. Here is the GOAT, the Godfather, the legend of bodybuilding, Charles Glass. Yay!
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hello, Charles. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
And let me say this. I have to say this. This is the first ever real podcast Charles Glass does, and that with us. It's a world premiere. I'm so proud, and I guess Jean-Pierre too. Right, Jean-Pierre?
I'm amazed. You know, I unfortunately, when I had the chance to get the Charles know better, I was kind of not even speaking English, you know. But I was always amazed, and I watched him so much. He has no idea. You know, I was on the bike up on the upper floor there, and I just watched and watched and watched. And one time, I can probably not remember, you gave me a tip about changing my handle in the rear shoulder machine. You know, but I wish I would have gone more out of my comfort zone, my German comfort zone, and work with you. I think it would have done me well. You know, but I'm so glad he's here. Thank you so much, Charles.
Oh, thank you.
All right,
So,
I just let you know how I got to know Charles Glass. In 2001, I moved to Venice, and of course, I trained at Gold's Gym every day, and it didn't matter if you come to the gym at 4 in the morning or 10 at night, Charles Glass was always there training some person, and I couldn't believe it, and I said, wow, I never seen any personal trainer training more like Charles Glass. I have no idea how he did it.
Well, you know, I had that passion for the sport, and I really loved training people. It didn't matter whether they were bodybuilders, grandmothers, grandfathers, lawyers, doctors. It didn't matter. Anybody that wanted to train, I was willing to train them.
Wow.
so
Yeah,
Charles,
yeah.
I don't know really anything about your background. I don't know anything about your family, where you grew up. I just kind of would like to get started with that, you know. So where are you from?
Actually, I'm from Detroit, Michigan,
I
and I moved out here to California when I was very young.
So how young?
I think I was like 10,
10.
maybe
But
younger, maybe about, yeah.
please tell me you didn't come by yourself.
Oh, no. I came out with my parents, my mom, single parent, but took great pride in us staying in school, studying, and doing what we can do for ourselves. So my sister and I was under her. And so she helped me a lot. She pushed me to become who I am today.
Great.
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. How did you get into bodybuilding? Tell us. How did you start?
I was a gymnast at UC Berkeley, and I said, man, I want to get into something that has longevity. This is going to end eventually because I won't be able to flip plates anymore. So I decided that I would just go to the weight room. And I went to the weight room and I started training with some friends. I said, oh, wow, I like this. So I made a promise to them. Once I use all my eligibility, I would be back in that weight room. So as soon as it was over, that's where I went. And I stayed there. I loved it.
So I was, to be honest, going through your resume when it comes to competing the first time yesterday. I hate to admit that. Of course, I knew you competed at Olympia. There's a few things kind of startled me. And I know it's a very different time, when especially when it comes to getting a pro card. So in 1983, when you got that pro card, so you went to the USA first and placed 5th. And then you
Yes.
go into the World Championships and you win. So what kind of freaking competition did you have, or what happened there?
It wasn't quite like that. What happened is that I was training, and I went to the USA's. It was in Atlanta. But prior to that, I had a toothache so bad. So I went had a dentist treatment, you know, and I said, I can still compete. I still can compete. So I tried, but I lost so much weight. I was normally weighing about 193. I ended up weighing 177 because my mouth would not stop bleeding. And
Oh,
so at 177, I knew I had no chance in hell to beat those other guys. That would be too big. And so I said, I placed fifth. I was happy. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try to go to the middleweight class next time. Then that way I have less big guys and more guys more my size. So I tried that at the nationals and I won. I couldn't believe it. I won. And so when we went to the world championships, I was ready. I competed in middleweight. I won. At that year, Bob Paris won the heavyweight. Chuck Williams won the light heavy. And then I won the middleweight. Jesse Lujan came in third. And we won the overall championship for the team. So we did pretty good.
Nice.
yeah, you could say that you did pretty well. Wow, definitely. Great. Then the Mr. Olympia, how was it? I think this was your only Mr. Olympia. How was the feeling to
Yeah.
finally be there at the Mr. Olympia backstage with all these fantastic guys, being in the middle of it, being a pro? How was your experience back then?
I looked at it like this. I said, there's no way I'm going to beat these legends that's still competing, but I'm going to have a good showing. So I made sure that my body was well conditioned and I did some things that I knew they couldn't do. So I felt good about that. And I didn't care where I placed. It was just the thrill of being on stage with those legends, you know? So I felt good.
Yeah, and you did really good. I guess you have a gymnastic background and you thought, hey, I
Yes.
can show that off. And I'm not sure I know for sure you did one backflip, but did you actually
Well,
two?
I did a
What?
backflip, plus I did a planche. That's where you hold your whole body up in the air. And I knew they
Oh,
couldn't do that one either. I
okay.
knew they couldn't do that one.
And
So
I know, I
everybody,
remember,
they was shocked.
I watched the show live, and I was
Yeah, they were
amazed.
shocked.
That's
Oh my God, what you just do? I tried
yeah,
to explain it to them, but if you're not a gymnast, it's hard to understand. So, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being on stage with them, and so it was great.
So then
awesome.
you went on to compete, for not very long actually, and the results were. I remember seeing pictures of you, and you were so perfect. So why are the results not better? Because when I look at you, was this judge different? Was it just clearly, well, they're bigger, that's why they beat you? How did you see yourself with the placings? Because you were so perfect.
Well, I didn't worry about the placing because I knew I only had a short time to have fun, and to
Yeah.
me, it was just having fun. And people, like I said, people always say, "Man, you should have placed a lot higher." But you know what? I said, "Man, whatever. I'm good with it. I don't mind." And they all thought I should place higher. A couple of the judges said, if this guy hadn't done this or that or this, then you would have placed a lot higher. But the thing of it is, they were legends and I wasn't. So it's no way I was going to beat some of those guys. And then by the time those guys retired, I quit because I wanted to train people more so than I wanted to do, you know, get on stage. I still train hard, but I just wanted to help other people accomplish their dreams.
Yeah, that's my next question. How did you get into the whole coaching trainer business? Was it just like a feeling? Was it a passion? Was it something you felt like, yes, I want to do this? And how did it start?
It was a passion. Uh, I saw myself just really working hard with training people, and Mike Christian was my first person that I trained that actually started doing well. And when he started doing well, I felt though I was doing well. And
Okay.
then I kept going on training other people more and more. And then I hooked up with Flex Wheeler. And that was my most successful person because from amateur to the end of his career, I worked with him.
Well, that's where I started to see you. It looked like every time I went to the gym, you trained flex. And
Yeah.
I have a few questions about flex.
Mhm.
very early in, it was flex of 93. And then I saw you more than working with a way, way bigger flex, you know, in 99. So in your opinion, if those two versions are competing against each other, the 93 against the 99, in your opinion only, who beats who wins?
In 93, he had perfect proportions. In 99, he got like shoulders were way too big for the rest of his body. Arms was way too big, you know. So he had those body parts that was disproportionate to everything else. So after that, we started to bring him down a little bit. He started doing better and better. Then he started to win and win and win again. So it was good. But I think that 93 would have beat all of them because he had the shape and the size.
So let me ask you this regarding Flex Wheeler. In 2002, when I was in the gym like every day, I saw Flex Wheeler train, and it amazed me how little effort he actually put into his training. He did a set like, I think it was side laterals, but he did it like this, not really putting effort in it, la 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 la. And then he took a break, but the break was like 5 minutes. I'm like, wow, is that how Flex Wheeler trains? That's insane.
But before Charles answers, actually, I seen that a little different in 99. I think, you know, I was always told, you will see when you go to the United States, those people are not training hard, you know. I think in 99,
they train hard.
I think in 99, from what I saw, he trained very, very hard. I don't know, was there a difference between 99 and 2002? I'm not sure.
In 99, you got to understand, I trained Paul Dillette, I trained Chris Cormier, all three of those guys together, and they pushed one another. So they had to train harder because Chris was coming on strong, and Paul had every single body part you could ever want. It's just he just didn't have a back. He could never feel his back, but everything else he had. So Flex had to train different. He couldn't lollygag anymore. He had to train and put the time in.
Yeah.
Okay. Another of your clients, Mr. Olympia, Dexter Jackson, he was
unbelievable.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. I mean, no question about it. But for him, you were really the best trainer in the world. And he especially moved from Florida all the way to Los Angeles just to train with you. That's crazy. 3,000 miles.
We talked about it. And he was saying, man, I think I may be ready to retire. Because if I place out of the top 5, I'm gonna retire. I said, well, you got a lot of life in that body, man. You just got to train a little different. And so we put a program together just for him, and he loved it. And every time he come in the gym, we did something just a little different than the time before. He loved it. And that's why he moved out.
Okay. Yeah, what I can tell, what I always saw with you, you had all these little tricks. You had all these little different angles you would use for special people. Or you had this little pillow. Sometimes you would put it in the lower back. Or all these little things that other trainers actually never do. You did all these things and you had all that success. How did you figure out that the small little things, the small little changes can change so much the athlete?
Well, what happened is that it's like guesswork. I tried it on myself. I like the way the contraction felt on my chest. I like the way the contraction felt on my back. And when I did certain things, the way when I turned my angle for my arm, for my side laterals, I felt something a little different. So every time I would try it on myself, then I would try it on the athletes. And if it worked for them, But I had to make sure they was in the right angles. I would twist them and push them into the position. And I still do that today.
As you know, I live in Palm Springs, and Chris used to visit here regularly. I don't know, not recently. I had lunch with him not too long ago. Yeah, it's been a couple of years. And the 99 Olympia came up. And it's probably unquestionable the best Chris Cormier we've ever seen.
Yes.
You think he should have beaten Flex at the 99 Olympia?
It's subjective. I wasn't a judge. I was training both guys. I felt as though Chris was drier. He had certain body parts that was better. But who to say one judge saw it totally different. So for me to say one person was much better than the other, couldn't do it, because it was so evenly matched, But overall shape, Flex had the smaller waist, Chris had the broader shoulders, Flex had a humongous hamstring, but Chris had the nice quad sweep. So there were certain things about the different body parts that they had that complemented their body, where the other guy didn't have it, but he had something else that he didn't have. So it worked out pretty good. I mean, it was close, and it was like apples and oranges. What do you like? What do you prefer? So
before Ben comes back in, I have one more question we didn't really plan, but it just kind of popped up in my head. So, when you worked with all these athletes, before an Olympia, was your job strictly the training, or is it depending on the athlete, or how much did you get involved with other things?
Politics, I didn't get involved in. I left that alone. I just trained the guys. I always looked to see what they was missing. I tried to work on the body part that they were missing, so I could bring those parts up to make it match everything else. And
no, I meant not politics. I meant nutrition, that kind of stuff. Did you get involved in that or not so much?
I've always looked at them and I say, look, maybe we should cut some calories because maybe you're eating a little too much. I will talk to them, then I will talk to their nutritionist, because every single person had a different nutritionist. So I had to talk to everybody, and we collaborated together to make sure that they came in the best way they could.
Do you think Chris Cormier could have been much better? Because he had a reputation as the party boy. He would sometimes even before a show go out. And I guess you know that.
Yeah, I knew it. It was hard to pin him down, because he loved the party. But what he put in, he got out. That's why. And the judges all knew that. He partied quite a bit. And I think they sort of hit him hard sometimes when they should have. It had nothing to do with what he did, as long as he brought something to the table. And he was bringing a lot to the table at that time.
Right.
But they judged him on what he was doing after hours, which was wrong.
Right. It's a shame though, but yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
a lot of shows. A lot of shows he should have won, and because the judges knew that he was partying, they penalized him. So
yeah, I think he came 6 times second at the Arnold Classic.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe was a reason too. Yeah, it's unfortunate. That's true. But let's talk about something serious, something you told me. I don't know exactly the year. Again, I know it was mid-2000s. You know that better than me. You felt something in the gym. You were putting back a dumbbell and you felt like something in your chest. And you were like, oh, maybe I ate something wrong. I don't know. Something happened. And then the pain progressed over the day. And then somehow at night you decided to go to the hospital and they told you had a heart attack. Tell us about it. What happened?
Yeah. It was funny. We're sitting in the gym, we're all talking, and I said, man, I'm getting hungry. So we decided to go down there. I had like a half hour, so I went to Rush. I was eating in a rush. And we came back, I'm sitting down. Then I started feeling this pain. I said, oh, something's not right. I'm thinking, I'll be all right. Thought I just had an indigestion. So we went and we started to train a little bit. And the more I trained, the pain got worse. I thought, it'll be all right. So I waited for like about an hour. Then we finished training. I went outside. I'm sitting down. I said, I don't feel well. So I decided to call my cousin and say, hey, man, isn't there a hospital out that way? He said, oh, yeah. I said, okay. So I leave. I go drive home, which took me an hour to get home. And I get there. I said, okay. I turn off. I go to Kaiser. It was 2019. And I went there and they checked me out. And they says, okay. They gave me some aspirins to take. I took the aspirins and stuff like that. Then I go home. But then I called my cardiologist. And he says, I said, Doc, when you had your heart attack, how'd you feel? He told me, I feel that same way. So he tells me, listen, you go immediately to the first hospital you see and you tell them. So that's what I did. Sure enough, I had a heart attack. And
Wow.
I mean, I felt this like 3.5 hours before. And I waited that long to go. But like I said, lucky for me, it didn't do any damage, and they took care of me. But since then, I've had another heart attack, but a little
Wow.
minor one, and
Okay.
I'm still here. I'm still here,
Right.
so
Yeah,
I feel good.
we're sure very happy about that. So,
Yeah.
well,
And after the first heart attack, they put something in, right? Put a stem
They put a
or
stent,
a
put a
stent.
stent in, yeah, a
Yes.
stent, and it like I said, it helped me. And after that, like I said, I kept training, kept training. I never backed off the weights. I felt good, and the second heart attack, I was, uh-oh, this may be serious. But sure enough, I had a heart attack. They gave me too much anesthesia, made me have a stroke. But the
Oh
stroke was
no.
very minor. It didn't hurt me anything. I wasn't afflicted by any kind of abnormalities. I could still walk. I can do everything. But
right.
it felt weird. I tell you, you got to be real careful, and you got to listen to your body. And we all say it couldn't happen to me. I know this is not happening to me. But sure enough, I had a second one, and this time it was a little more serious than the other one. But like I said, I'm still here, still having fun with my people. I'm training less athletes because a lot of guys now, um, they don't want to come to goals because they feel as though goals not treating them right, so they go elsewhere. And I
Okay.
refuse to go to other gyms, so I stay at goals.
Mm.
I just remember after your first heart attack, a week later was Mr. Olympia, and you were already there, and nobody would even know that you had a heart attack.
Yep, I
Yeah,
was there.
I know. I
Yep.
remember. I remember.
The time
Okay.
when I trained, weeks at the time in Venice. We used to, all the German-speaking kind of, I wouldn't say athletes, but enthusiasts, we used to stay at the Marina Pacific Hotel.
Right.
And, the breakfast room was packed with freaking Germans, Austrians, Swiss. So one morning, some guy came in and told me a crazy story about you. And I have no idea if there's any truth to it, half truth, or I just want to see what's true about that. So he told me that you were arrested with $250,000 in your trunk.
That's a lie.
Okay?
It was
happy.
only it
Who in
was
their right mind?
300,000.
No, who in their right mind gonna carry that kind of money around in their trunk? You're really kidding. People make
So,
up all sorts of lies to tell. If it's the more they can stretch it, the more they're going to stretch it. But that wasn't the truth. The truth of it is, they did arrest me. But what they were trying to do is prove what happened. They broke into my house in the first place, and they were trying to find what I had in the house. But I didn't have anything in the house. Everything I had in the house was for personal use, and so that's why I didn't get that much time or anything. All they did for me was make me go to a diversion class, and I had to wear an ankle bracelet for about what 8, 10 weeks,
yeah,
Okay.
And of course I had to pay a fine, but I paid the fine, but it was no money involved
yeah,
because who in the hell I wouldn't keep that kind of money in my house because people break in your house they think you got that kind of money, but
no, of
no,
course.
that's false.
All right, that's good to
Did
know.
somebody rat you out? Did somebody tip the police off, or how did that happen?
What happened is this guy he was trying to do less time for his crime, and he
Okay.
pointed the finger toward me. And so they tried to key in on me, but it didn't work because what they was trying to say that I was doing, I didn't do. They were saying I was selling cocaine, but I don't even fool with that stuff.
Oh my
And when
God.
they was taping my conversation, I even said, I said, hey, look, man, I don't fool with that. You gotta be kidding. Who's gonna fool around with some stuff like that? I said, you know
Right.
what? That guy just talked to me about cocaine. If you want something, you go talk to him. My crime came because I showed them how to commit a crime because I showed the guy who had it. And so they tried to get me on that. And if I had a better lawyer, he could have beat the whole thing. But anyway,
Right.
I didn't have to go to jail, so I was happy.
Okay. Wow, what a story. Good. Something else, Charles. I know you trained with all these amazing athletes, movie stars, whatever, but you also trained with very beautiful women. I mean, the perfect tens, I would say. Did you ever had over all these years some kind of an immoral offer from one of the women, like, I don't know, they said, hey, Charles, train me for free, and maybe later you can play with me or whatever. I don't know. Anything like that ever happened?
Never.
Never?
You know what? Never, not one time, because you know why? What happened when I trained the women, I touched them at least amount as possible. So
Right,
there was no indication that I wanted to hook up with them or anything.
right.
And most of them had husbands. I respected them. I respected their husbands. And so I tried to keep from that. So I stayed away from it as much as possible. So that whole plan never came up.
Good for
I,
you.
I have a question here, and I want to change that question a little bit. So, when I see footage from the 80s, Gold's Gym, I'm absolutely amazed, and I'm also saddened that I couldn't be part of it because I was just too young. Sometimes I've seen pictures, 70s, 80s, of bodybuilders I never heard of, like crazy freaking people. There's this one black guy I've heard, he became homeless, like a legendary black guy, biggest arms I think I've ever seen. Do you remember, like, other than maybe Mr. Big, what's his name? Do you remember any guys you maybe trained or saw in those years, which you thought they could have been really like top 3 or 4 in the Mr. Olympia, but just never competed? Do you remember any freaks like that?
Oh my God, yes. That was like Victor Richards.
Yeah.
Humongously big. Okay? Victor Richards was big. Craig Munson was
Craig
humongously big.
Munson, that's the guy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, he was big. Back arms, he took 315 and was doing skull crushers with 315. I'm like, oh my God. But those guys didn't want to compete, they just want to look good. And so that's what they did. They just come to the gym just to train.
You,
All
you
like
think,
Berto Fox.
yeah. You think
Berto
Victor
Fox.
would have been in the top 3 at the Olympia?
Maybe not the top 3, but he sure, if somebody had trained him right, he could have been in the top 3 because he was tall, he was big. He wasn't a short guy. And then there was they called him Tookie, Stanley Williamson. He was
I remember.
unbelievable. I mean, he was a Crip.
Yeah.
And a Crip is one of those guys who don't mess around. They'll shoot before they say do anything. And he had one of the perfect physiques. Perfect physiques. But like I said, mentality-wise, he just didn't have it because he chose a different life.
Yeah, I think he wrote a book or something, yeah?
Yes, he while he went to prison, he was writing children books. And so he tried to, thought that was going to help him, but it didn't. He was put to death.
I know, I remember that, yeah.
Who would you say from all the bodybuilders you trained had the most potential to go the furthest?
Gosh, when you say it like that, because off the top of the head, I would say Sean Roden was right there, because he made it to the top. Dexter Jackson made it to the top. But you're talking about guys who had the potential to make it there, but didn't make it there. You look at Flex Wheeler. He should have made it there. His very first year that he competed against Ronnie, he should have made it there. But the thing of it is, Ronnie signed a contract with Weider, and Flex quit working for Weider, started working for Biochem.
Oh.
But then he started wearing that Biochem hat. He started sitting in the booth. Right away, that hurt him. So we end up coming in second, and it just destroyed him.
Right. I thought actually you had a different answer, like Paul Dillette or somebody, but okay. Flex it is.
Paul, the reason I say Flex is because he came in second that year. Where was Paul Dillette? He was way down. Now, Paul, if he could have ever gotten his back together, got the feel for his back, he would have been unbeatable because he had every single body part that you could want. And it wasn't small, it was big.
Right.
But when he walked around in the gym, the back didn't look small. And he had obviously great coaching.
I didn't say it was small. I said he didn't have the knots that everyone else had. Because when you flex, you got to show your back. And when he showed his back, it was smooth.
Yeah.
Right. I remember.
But you look at his legs, his upper body never matched. And then he turned to the back. Oh my God. Right away, he started taking points off. And he looked
He probably
great.
couldn't feel his back, I guess. Some people don't feel
Couldn't
certain
feel his back
muscles.
at all. Yep.
Right,
You can
right.
touch his back and it will flex, but then when he tried to flex it himself, nothing happened.
Wow. What a shame,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this straight up. Is Charles Glass the best bodybuilding trainer in the world?
You know, we have a lot of great trainers out there. I
Right.
consider myself being one of the best. And what I do is I try my best to do the best I could do with my client. It has nothing to do with nothing else. I don't care about what you can say. This guy's better than you. That guy better than you. I don't care. I'm gonna do the best I can with my clients.
So, Charles, how old are you now?
Oh, we can talk about that one.
45.
Can't get that secret. Can't get that
45.
secret away.
So,
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that one.
do you see yourself ever retiring, laying on the porch, doing nothing?
No. They're gonna have to take me out of that gym.
I always said I want to die under the squat rack, and Charles wants to die training some person, I guess.
Yes.
One more.
I love training people. So, you know,
I know.
I love training people more than I do training myself because I get a thrill out. Every time I see someone make some improvement, it makes me feel good. Right now, I'm training my girl, and she trains hard, and she like, her name is Manel, and she trains super hard. When we get in arguments because she said, I want to do more. I want to do more. I'm like, that's enough. You did enough. No, I can do a little bit more. I said, no, that's enough. You got to stop her and make her quit. But we
that's
have
a
fun.
great mindset, Charles. That's a great mindset.
It is, but you can overdo it. That's the whole
Right.
thing. You can overdo it. And so I'm trying to teach her
Absolutely.
that happy balance in between.
Right. So I seen the last years Arnold is back in Gold's Gym. Do you actually have or had ever a relationship with Arnold?
I met Arnold in the gym, and he knew who I was. You know, we were never really close or anything like that. But it was really funny how I have a friend who's an artist. His name is Chuck Arnaldi, and he and Arnold good friends. And so one day, because he's always buying art from him, and so one day Arnold came in. He spoke to Chuck, and he didn't speak to me. So Chuck said, "Did he speak to you?" I said, "Not really." You know, he said, "Okay." So later, we ran across, hey, this is my good friend and my trainer, Charles. He says, I know who he is, you know, and ever since then, he's been speaking to me.
What?
It was so funny.
It's weird though. Okay.
Yeah. One year, he had a Terminator watch, and he saw my big watch. He said, hey, I have a watch for you. He said, I'm going to give it to you in Columbus. So I said, okay. So I'm in the booth working for Optimum, and he comes in, he's looking around. He said, there he is. He walks over to me and hands me this present. Gave me a Terminator watch. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. And you should have seen the expression on the other people's face when he gave it to me.
Right.
That's nice.
It was great. Yeah.
It's really nice, but it's strange, but it's nice for sure.
It's strange, but like I said, he's a nice guy, but he don't talk to a lot of people, you know. So
Right.
he comes in, does his thing. He and his entourage, they leave.
Okay.
And I don't
So,
bother him because, you know, he's there to train.
you know, I'm pretty sure, you know, once people see that we interviewed you, there's going to be a lot of trainers watching this. There's going to be some people who are, well, it's all good and nice to talk about Flex Wheeler and all this stuff, but we want to know a little bit more about his training and how he does stuff. So I'm going to tell you honestly, when I came to Venice in the mid 90s, other than kind of train your chest on Monday and your back on Tuesday and your legs on Wednesday, I didn't really know much. If I would have come to you and say, Charles, put a workout split for me together. When do I do the cardio? What do you say to me? How do you go about that?
I'll have you do your cardio first thing in the morning. You know, get it out of the way, because most guys, once they do their cardio, they want to go home. You know, so it's no such thing as, you gotta understand, most guys train twice. They do cardio first and then they train second. Or we'll do cardio, take the glycogen out of the body, and then we'll train. And it always worked that way. Just depends upon the individual. A lot of times when people come in, they don't have time, so it's on a time restraint. So what we do, we train hard and we move quick. We don't take 5 minutes between sets. We'll train real hard. Then you go do your cardio because you take less time because there's no glycogen storage. Now you're ready to go home. See, so
So,
it just depends on the individual. Some
So
train twice a day.
so if I come to you, I would tell you that's what I want to do today, or you tell me this is how we split it, this is how we do it, depending on your body, or how do you go about that?
It all depends on their body. It depends on what your strong parts are and what your weaknesses are. I don't put your weaknesses first because I got to pull those up to make them strong. So it just depends on the individual.
okay. So bottom line is, in the morning, empty stomach, stay away, get the cardio out of the way, then have breakfast, and then later go to the gym. That would be the best.
Then you go back home, you rest, then you come back to the gym. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So before I ask you the next questions, tell us something about dark sports.
Oh, wow. Fantastic sport. I tell you, what it is a clothing line. It was started by 3 young guys. And it's like a family. They put it all together and they hired individuals to try to help promote this clothing line. And it's working pretty well. It's like a family.
Okay. Good. Then, next question. Best protein source for gains. What would you suggest? Is it more beef, powder? What is it?
I like beef.
Beef.
I like beef. I made my better gains using the beef, And what I would do, I split it up. I'll eat a little chicken first because your body can digest the chicken quick. Then I put the beef right behind it. And then now, once your body starts to digest food, it's not going to stop and start back. It'll just keep right on digesting. So it works better for me.
Okay, so first white meat and then red meat. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, I got it. All right, then next question. If you could choose one exercise, which you would say this exercise is the best exercise to overall build muscle mass, is there such exercise? And if there is, which one would you say it is?
There's no one because you have chest, you have back, you have legs, you have arms. So what I do, I split them up, and each one I'll use differently. If I'm doing chest, what's the one that's going to hit my chest the most? It's decline because I'm going to hit the whole chest, and then I'll start working on other sections. People say, "Oh, you can't do that." That's not true because if you look at Dexter, look how high his chest was sitting up. And we did inclines all the time, high incline. Then we did mid, then we hit lower, then we hit champagnes, which hit right in the center of the chest. So I take it in stages. And then when we do arms, there's certain exercise we would do to hit the brachialis. You got 2 heads on the bicep, 3 on the triceps. So we try to split it up.
Okay. Because I know back in the day, I remember people would say the squat is the one what brings you the most muscle mass, but you would say no, it's not like that. It's just
How can a squat hit
I
your
know.
chest?
I know what you're
See,
saying.
so that's what I'm saying. So now I
Right.
tell you, squat is the best exercise because why? It really hit those legs hard. And that's one thing I did since my legs were weak from being a gymnast. I would always hit my legs first. I would hit my legs first. And I mean, I can front squat just as much as I can rear squat, because I wanted to be strong at it,
Right.
And it worked for me.
Right. So you would actually say really the best exercise for chest is decline?
Yeah, because it hit overall chest, everything.
Right. It's so
It
funny
works.
because most people don't do it.
No, they don't do it. But you think about this: you push decline, it don't stay at the bottom. You'll feel it go all the way up to the top. It don't hit
Right.
that top lip up there, but it moves up. So
Mhm.
why not do it first? Get it out of the way.
Right.
So
I think it used to be a lot more popular. We used to do it all the time. growing up. Okay?
Yep.
And
And all of a
now
sudden, people got out of it.
yeah.
80s, 90s, exactly. Everybody would do decline
Yep.
for sure.
I
Bench
was,
press, flies, everything.
I was once asked if I would have to do just one exercise for the rest of my life, which is, of course, I mean, Charles is totally right. You can't make a choice like that, what's better, what's not. But if I would have to do one exercise for the rest of my life and that's it, and I was thinking about it, and I will see what Charles says. I came up with seated rowing.
Seated rowing. Okay, when you do seated rows, you if you start pushing with your leg, you're not doing a seated row right.
Yeah.
See? So, but you can do it because it's going to hit your legs, it's going to hit your lower back, it's going to hit your back, hit your biceps, and as you extend out, it'll pull from your triceps, but it won't affect your chest.
Mm.
And unless you start pulling way up toward the top, it just depends on where you pull from. But if you had to pick a exercise, like you said, seated rowing would probably be the closest to the one you would need for the rest of your life. Yes.
So I seen you have a daughter, is that correct?
Yes.
How old is she now?
22.
So, I mean, you work obviously still a lot, but what
Yeah,
else
but-
what else
so-
you do? What else you do in life? You know, outside the gym, and you're not working for a company, or what else you do?
What else I do? I used to ride Harley, and
That's
then
good.
Nice.
I used to go bike. I used to go bike riding, you know.
Okay.
And then, oh my gosh, I love paintball.
Really?
I love doing paintball.
Nice.
I have about 13 guns, believe it or not.
Wow.
See,
Cool.
that new. Not many people probably knew that.
Yeah, I mean, I fell in love with one time. I fell in love with it, and I became a fanatic. I mean, some of my paintball guns cost $1,800,
Holy
$1,900.
Oh
You
my
name it.
goodness.
I spent money on those things because I just loved it. You know, and I used to go pick up the kids in the neighborhood. We take off and go to one of the sites and we have fun. Take them back home, drop them off. That was it. It was great.
Nice.
And I'm pretty sure any sport event you would like to go watch, you get probably free tickets. Do you watch any?
Gymnastics.
Yeah.
Huh?
They
It's
just
still
had-
in you, huh? Still in your blood.
Still love gymnastics.
Uh-huh.
So I'm sure you're pretty happy that Simone Biles came back and won winning the trials, huh?
Yes, yes. Simone is unbelievable. I like track and field also.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I watch pretty much everything. I just watch the trials of the track and
Yeah.
field trials.
Yeah.
You know, since I'm now an American, I'm absolutely overwhelmed watching trials in the United States. You know, in Switzerland, you go to the Olympics and you have maybe 2 shots to win a medal. You know, and you kind of
Yeah.
focus on those 2 people. And here, just to make that team, you probably have a medal. You know, certain make a
Oh,
medal
you
at the
ain't kidding.
Olympics.
I tell you,
I mean,
it's tough. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely incredible.
So I feel definitely closer to Charles now since he was a motorcycle fan because I'm a huge motorcycle fan, Charles. I had my own
Okay.
motorcycle company actually in the US and I was
Uh-huh.
a world champion of custom motorcycles. I don't know if you knew that. I wanna
Wow.
put that out there.
Great.
Yes, in
Mhm.
2011 and 2012. I was actually the best
Yeah.
motorcycle builder in the world. Yeah, I got a bunch of
Okay.
trophies and stuff. Yeah, I love to ride. I still ride till this day. So motorcycles is my passion besides training.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Well,
I mean, I could name the people who like motorcycles because it's just fun. You know, it's just fun to get on there and just ride.
Yeah. It clears your mind. Sometimes when you have amazing
Yes.
stress, you sit on the bike, you start riding, and everything is like getting out of your head and you feel free. And it's just freaking amazing for sure.
It's
See-
it's mainly that freedom you have.
Yes.
See, you two look way more motorcycle guys than I could ever be. You know, no, I'm too much of a Swiss. You know, I would be on the bike and think, what can go wrong here? You know.
But I imagine Jean-Pierre on a little Harley Davidson, like a Sportster 750 or something.
Yeah,
Come on.
it's,
I could see him on a fat boy. I'm telling you, he's too big.
I don't know, probably look good on it, but that's about it. You know. Yeah.
Okay,
I was-
Jean-Pierre, it's a trike for you. You know, the ones with the 3 wheels. Maybe better for you.
Now, they do have those now.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, Charles, thank you so much. Absolutely unbelievable. Love to talk to you.
Thank you, guys.
I hope to see you soon
I
again.
I really appreciate you guys, putting me on. So it's great. I really love it.
No, it was a big honor for us. Definitely Charles Glass, the godfather, the legend. I mean, amazing. His first real podcast with Jean-Pierre Fuchs and myself. I'm like, wow. Thank you so much, good. Charles. I really appreciate that so much.
Charles, do you remember? I used to come every year, once or twice, to Goals, even when I was older. But they really got a little crazy down there. You know, they want 50 bucks to get in, and you know, then you take your girl with you, but that's $100. And
the thing of it is, they've got beside themselves a little bit. I think they should lower the price back. It'll bring in more people, but the thing of it is, you want to bring people to the gym, not chase them away, you know. And like all the athletes, that's why all the athletes are gone, because they feel as though that the gym don't want to do anything for them, you know.
Right.
And so they all went to their prospective gyms. So.
And I found out my picture is gone. Can you believe it?
Oh my God, Jean-Pierre, what happened? What did you do? Who did you piss off?
Well, you know.
No, the whole thing of it is, when they took some pictures down, some people started to steal pictures.
What?
And his picture was very popular. Yes, yes. He had a picture already framed and everything. It was supposed to be up on the wall, and it was an empty spot. I said, "Wait a minute, something's missing."
Well,
it was his picture.
That's the story I'm going to go with.
Yeah, your picture got taken.
Picture was stolen.
Let me ask you one more question.
They love your picture. See.
Interested in one question. What did you actually do when the pandemic, like with COVID?
Pandemic?
What did you do?
We went to other gyms and snuck in. So we still got trained. They had the blackout on the windows and stuff. So we trained. And then when somebody saw a cop coming by, we turned the lights out.
Why does that not surprise me one bit?
Good. I like it. I like it. Very nice. Very nice. I heard like people like Tito Raymond. He never came back after pandemic. He has his home gym now or something. Have you ever seen Tito again?
He comes and he does legs at Goals, because he don't have the same equipment that Goals has. So he comes there and do legs, and sometimes he brings his clients there. They do legs and stuff, and other body parts. Quite a few people start their own gyms and stuff. So it was easy.
Oh, it's forever since I heard that name. I know he married the girl we were all in love with.
Yeah,
Amy.
You love Amy.
Yeah.
Amy. They have two beautiful kids.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God, one's like a little genius there. He's getting ready to go away to school back east, and the other, his youngest son, actually trains with him. Got a nice little shape to him. Okay. Nice little shape. It's gonna be good. Yeah.
Yeah, I was happy to hear when people do well again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And another question: do you think the Mecca of bodybuilding is now Las Vegas instead of Venice?
No, it's always going to be Venice, no matter what. It's just that things have changed. More and more gyms are popping up in Vegas because the population is growing and growing. But when you come to Venice, it's nothing like it. It's still nothing like it. It's still one of the better gyms out there. I like training with Bev Francis' gym. It's nice, very nice. You know, that's the Mecca on the East Coast. It's good.
Right.
There was never any consideration for you ever to move away, huh?
No. I want to stay in the area because my daughter was young, and I just stayed. I just wouldn't leave.
Okay, so one important thing we figured out today with Charles, he's 45 years old, and he has many more years to live.
You want to put another 10 on that?
All right, guys. Great night. Very good.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
We thank you.
And hopefully we can do it again.
I would love to. Definitely.
Thank you. Okay,
right, guys. Sounds good.
Have a good night.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Same to you guys. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.